Purport. Devahuti, the mother of Kapila, instead of prolonging her prayer, summarized that Lord Kapila was none other than Vishnu, and since she was a woman, it was not possible for her to worship him properly simply by prayer. It was her intention that the Lord be satisfied. The word Pratyak is significant. In yogic practice, 8 divisions are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. Pratyahara means to wind up the activities of the senses. The level of realization of the Supreme Lord evidenced by Devahuti is possible when one is able to withdraw the senses from material activities. When one is engaged in devotion service, there is no scope for his senses to be engaged otherwise. In such full consciousness, one can understand the Supreme Lord as He is. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, Mother Devahuti is summarizing her prayers, where she recognizes and understands and realizes that Lord Kapila is none other than Lord Vishnu himself, the Supreme Param Brahman. And she says that it is by the mercy of Bhagavan, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord alone, the living entity can become free from gunapravaham, dvasta gunapravaham, swatejasa, that means by his potency, dvasta gunapravaham, vande Vishnum Kapilam Vedagarbham, and you are the repository of all the Vedas, even after the material world is dissolved. So the eternal nature of Lord Kapila, beyond this material creation, maintenance and alienation, as the Vedagarbha, as the source of all the Vedas, is recognized by Mother Devahuti. And here it is said that if one is engaging all his senses in the service of the Supreme Lord, then one's mind and senses will not be disturbed. The biggest problem for any spiritual practitioner, anybody who practices spiritual life, is the control of the mind and the senses. Because the mind and the senses, obviously we know it is not us. Yet, in the conditioned state, the soul thinks what the mind thinks. The soul feels what the senses feel. The soul has lost its independence to think, feel and will. The soul wills what this mind wills. But from the scriptures we understand, that's the only way to understand, otherwise it's very difficult to differentiate between mind and myself. Because mind is also willing, I am also willing. Mind in association with the soul, though it is material energy, but still it is willing. I am also willing. So, in all probability, the material mind, material intelligence merges with the soul in the perception of the conditioned soul. It is only when we charge our spirit with spiritual energy by associating with the Supreme Lord, in different forms of devotional service. His association charges our spirit with spiritual energy. Then alone we will be able to see that the mind is not me. This conditioned intelligence is not me. This body is not me. So if we are able to see that mind is not me, soul is not the intelligence, the body, the senses, they are not mine. They are not me, they are not mine. That perception, inner perception with the inner eyes of knowledge. Just like now you are hearing what I am speaking, actually you are seeing with your inner eyes the subject matter which I am speaking. So in the same way, with the inner eyes, Jnana Chakshu, the eyes of knowledge, if you are able to see, this body is different than me, mind is different from me, intelligence is different from me. I am Kshetrajna, I am the knower of the mind, I am knower of the intelligence, I am knower of the mind, I am knower of the senses. The mind, the body, the senses, they are known, and I am the knower. And there is a difference between the known and the knower. I know this table. Table is not me. Table is known. I am the knower of the table. Similarly, this mind body is a robot. It's a super robot which even no engineers or technologists can imagine to create. It's created by the design of the Supreme Lord. And this robot thinks, feels and wills. By the touch of spirit. Without touch of spirit, just like a dead body, doesn't think, feel and will. Robot is dead. But once the spirit is there, just like a machine, you pull out the power, everything will stop. As long as the power is there, it will run. So this is a gross and a subtle machine. Human beings are able to create only gross machines. And they started creating subtle machines. What are subtle machines? Computers. Okay, thinking machines. Not that they can think on their own, but they can duplicate man's thinking. It can assist man's thinking. Just like you want to calculate 1200 into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A calculator will give you the answer. So it will help you to think. How did the calculator do that? It is programmed how to think. What you should do, it will do. So an ordinary calculator can do mathematics and give you a big calculation. And then you use that. Because you need somewhere multiplication of this. What is the result you want? It will give you. So in the same way, then there are computers. Computers, you can create software to tell the logic, give you the logic. If this happens, that happens, this happens, you write a code. And then you give input, that data it will go, it will process, and according to that logic, and it will give you the output. So you have the output and you use it. This yantra, body, mind, intelligence system, is nothing but a very sophisticated super sophisticated supercomputer. Hardware, software, everything. Our subconscious memory, our chittam, is nothing but the hard disk of this yantra. Contaminated consciousness is a hard disk of this yantra. In the conditioned state, in the material world, one important principle, nobody has exemption. What is that? He has to think through the yantra, he has to feel through the yantra, he has to will through the yantra. As a kshetrajna, any thinking, it has to be through the system. Thinking, feeling, willing. So given the condition that you can think, feel and will only through this yantra, because the soul itself is limited to knowing and experiencing. But the details of it is in the material field. What to think, how to think, what to feel, what not to feel. Details are all in the machine. It's in the yantra. So this principle, I mean, if you want to be a good guy, your mind has to be good. You cannot have a bad mind and be a good guy. The living entity, if the soul wants to be a Vaishnava, the only way is yantra to become a Vaishnava. If the yantra doesn't behave like a Vaishnava, soul cannot be a Vaishnava, experience being a Vaishnava. Now this is not like a limitation, this is a blessing, because the human form is a very rare robot which can vibrate like a living entity in the spiritual world, if you choose to make it vibrate. Free from three modes of material nature. This human form of body, mind, system, intelligent system can become a pure devotee, can start thinking like a pure devotee, feeling like a pure devotee, willing like a pure devotee. So when we think, feel and will through this body like a pure devotee, we are free from false ego. When one is engaged in devotional service, there is no scope of his senses being engaged otherwise. In such full consciousness, Krishna consciousness, one can understand the Supreme Lord as He is. Now to come to the state of driving this yantra like a robot. Actually, robot is not the right word, because in the robot, you tend to think that it's just a machine, it cannot think, feel and will. But actually now they are creating robot which can respond to your thinking. Just like computers can respond to chess. You make a move, just like any living person will respond, it will respond. In the same way now, robots, if you speak to it, I am in great tension, the robot will reply, don't worry, Krishna will take care. Possible or not? And if by chance our technology is so great that you can give a flesh type of body, you cannot differentiate whether there is soul inside or not. It's a fact. So all these things we can understand. Artificial intelligence, robots can learn. What is there to learn? Input, output, next. What? If this happens, you learn. Then the robot learns. Just like we learn. In other words, everything we learn in this material world, we should understand. It's all prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha. Everything is actually carried out by three modes of material nature. But the soul is experiencing that learning. In the material world, soul is not doing anything because soul's body is not material body. Material things can be lifted only by a material hand. That is why material, spiritual body can be seen by spiritual eyes. The soul is there in this body, but we cannot see. So how to stop this guna pravaham? Prabhupada explains here that only by Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam, by engaging all our senses, and irrespective of what position you are in, iha yasya harer dasya, always be in the position of being the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then that is perfection of human life. Just like coconut, when it is dried, it separates from the shell. Otherwise it is sticking to the shell. It separates from the shell. Now the soul is stuck to this body like the coconut. It thinks what the shell thinks. It feels what the shell feels. It wills what the shell wills. The soul, when it is awakened, it develops its own thinking, feeling and willing. How does it develop? First, the shell should develop that. The shell should become spiritualized. The only way to liberation is through the mind. The very mind which harms us. It is the very mind that can liberate us. The very senses that are trapping us into Maya, the very senses can actually free us from Maya, when those senses are engaged in Krishna's service. And the mind is engaged in Krishna's service. Of course, there is a degree of purity of engagement. We can engage from mixed devotion service, slowly it will purify and become pure devotional service. Because we all have cheating propensity. All living entities have cheating propensity. The biggest cheating is the name of, actually I want to please Krishna, Guru and Krishna. Actually you are pleasing yourself also. How much degree you are pleasing yourself and Guru and Krishna. That is the purity of devotion service. There is no cheating propensity. I want to please Guru and Krishna. I am not doing this to please myself. But that's our goal, that's our aspiration. I am a pure order carrier of the Lord. This is our goal, to become liberated even in this body. Then our material mind, body, obviously it means engaging all the senses in service of the Lord means the devotee has to become sinless. Sin doesn't touch him. Apapa vidham. He's become sinless. Sin doesn't go anywhere near. Because that attitude is gone. Independent enjoyment attitude is gone. He's always trying to please Guru and Krishna, to please their senses, to see that they are pleased. So the idea of me itself is vanished. I am servant of Krishna. I have no existence without being connected to Krishna. If I have an existence, if I think I have an existence disconnected from Krishna, then that is ahankara. That is a ghost. False ego. It's a ghost. So ultimately, we become free from being haunted by these false, independent identities. I take care of myself, I have to protect myself, I have my work, I have my... What? You have work? No work. Only Krishna's work and I am his servant. I have responsibility. I have responsibility only as a servant. Servant's responsibility is limited. To always remember he is a servant and carry out the orders. The results are in the hands of the master because it's master's mission. Let's say I want to achieve something. Then my servant just works for it. What is the attitude? The servant. My master wants to achieve that, so let me go and do it. To achieve anything in this material world, 5 factors of action is there. So Daivam is the 5th factor. The devotee thinks that whatever I am doing, the result, Krishna wants that result. If he so desires, because I am not pure, sometimes I will think of so many desires. If he so desires, let me put chesta. He says he has to put chesta, one of the factors. Desire and effort together is called chesta. You have to desire and desire. When you desire, you should not desire that it is my desire. The devotee has no other desire than the desire of the Lord. A servant has no desire other than the desire of the master. Master told do this, yes, now that is master's desire, I shall execute. So cultivation of consciousness as a servant of the Supreme Lord in every activity that we do is a purified consciousness. And that is the goal of entire sadhana bhakti. Unlike in Mayavadis, as Prabhupada says, pratyahara means wind up the activities of the senses. We are not saying wind up the activities of the senses. Purify the activities of the senses for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Suppose I have a servant and he's so distracted. He doesn't carry out my mission. What will you tell him? At least sit quiet here. Chup baito. Moment you start engaging your senses, you will disturb me. You cannot serve me. So all living entities in the material world are like that. They are put here and they engage all their senses in service of the ghosts which haunts them. Ghost of independent enjoyment, independent existence, independent knowledge. And therefore, one of the cures is before you engage in service of the Lord, in Ashtanga Yoga is a pratyahara. Stop all the activities of the senses because he has no devotion to engage service in his senses in service of the Lord. But at least something good it will happen to him. At least he stops doing all these negative things. So identify with Brahman and stop all material senses. That is pratyahara, is a particular stage. Pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Correct, samadhi. In Mayavadi, samadhi, according to us, is a mischievous child is told, go and sit in one corner. They are thinking it's a big achievement, samadhi. But from Krishna's point, what is it? Hey, you're a headache fellow, sit in that corner. I'll give you some Brahman pleasure. Sit there. You don't want to serve me. You want samadhi. So real samadhi, Prabhupada says, is what? Absorption in service of the Lord. Questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. While trying to improve the quality of chanting or quality of doing service to Lord, sometimes the mind gets agitated, or not always, at some point gets agitated, becomes angry, frustrated. But I am able to see that, but I should not be influenced by that. So what to do for that?
You see, you should find out why it is frustrated. Suppose it's frustrated that the results are not coming. One of the reasons, many reasons. For each there is a solution in connection with Krishna. Say, you have to tell yourself, be patient. Result is not my hand. I can do only the modules that I have been asked to give. There are hundreds of factors if something has to be achieved in this material world. So that is Lord has to sanction. So Lord sanctions my effort. Instead of getting agitated, simply we should think, what is it that I can do? If your agitation is leading to an inspiration to do something about it, do. It's okay. But if your agitation is impatience and worry, these are not meant for devotees. Of course, we go through the worry and all, but eventually we have to see that, I should surrender to the will of the Lord every moment and execute my devotion service. Then we can be peaceful. That is one. And sometimes if you are in, let's say you are in a very peaceful state. If somebody is in another platform, Rajoguna. If the person is in Rajoguna, you cannot give him an instruction that he can practice in Sattva-guna. If he is depressed about result and all these things, you chavi him more. Let him use his passion more and get purified. So that's why you need association of the devotees, and somehow you will be able to, by association of devotees, you will be able to open your heart and discuss and find out what is the most suitable mental technique to handle the mental problem. Mental problems have to be handled by mental techniques. And mental techniques means this transcendental intelligence you need for that. Then you will be armed with the mental techniques. All this naturally, when devotee is doing devotional service, it actually slowly, these realizations come. How to maintain the tranquility of the mind. In service of the Lord only. Because in service of the Lord, the guna is pushing. Guna pravaham. Our guna only, we have shifted it to Krishna. That's all. But our mode of working is all the forces are still there. And then it gets purified slowly. Only the intention, always we have to ensure that I want to please Guru and Krishna. That is in your hand. It's not dependent upon your gunas. Your purity of intentions. By association with pure devotees, you get pure intentions. Carry the pure intentions, then if the gunas are also, if the Rajoguna also, doesn't matter, it gets purified. You get purified. Intention has that power. So really pure devotional service, even a conditioned soul can do. one kind of pure devotional service. That is, if his intention is pure, his mind-body system is influenced by Rajoguna, Tamoguna, doesn't matter. Still, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, the Lord receives that as a very high quality devotional service. So intention is there, gunas are there, then result is there. You offer the result purely with pure intent, then gunas you cannot overnight change. Those gunas will get purified. So what we can take care? Our intent and result, intent, pure intent for pleasure of Krishna, the result.
And Prabhu, if every time, as you told, if I am patient, so one day it will fade away, that agitation?
No, you got reason, no. Go into details. What is the use if I am jumping up and down, things are not going to happen. Right? Even if you say, I want to become a pure devotee, you get agitated. Nothing will happen. You have to do what is required to become a pure devotee. So, be patient and start executing what I have to do. Whenever you become impatient, you ask question, what I have to do now? Isn't it? Just like if you see, if you are driving from here to Chennai, you see the road in the night, let's say you are driving in the night. You see the road to the extent to which the headlight is shining. That also depends upon the road. If it is curving, then your distance visibility will be short. Yes, road is straight, your visibility will be long. Right? Similarly, you take up a task, sometimes so complicated, you cannot see more than what I can do tomorrow. You cannot plan. Then there are some activities which are, you can see from beginning to end. Oh, I do all these things. I don't think any obstacles. I'll achieve. I can reach that target. So we have to learn to work by keeping our vision to a realistic distance and plan. And that realistic distance is what, by the will of the Lord, has been revealed to you. How much intelligence with which you can see this so much ahead. To that degree you do. Beyond that, when you suppose there is a turning, you see your headlight is going till that turning. Then the car turns. Then some more distance you see. Then you see some more distance. Ultimately you will reach Chennai. Right? Similarly, we take up a task. We want to do this. Now you start your vehicle, your activity. As you go, you will see more and more and more and more. As much as you see, execute your duty. So take this example of driving from here to Chennai. Any task. So if you think that, no, I have to sit here and plan here, right now, where all I have to turn the steering from here up to Chennai, then only I will start the journey. Will it work? It will not work. Some people are like that. They have analysis paralysis. They will analyze all sequence of plan from here till last. I mean, if you can, it's fine. The road is straight, fine. But the real life tasks are not straight. This will happen, some devotee will come and disturb you, then you have to handle that, this thing, that thing, so many things. Vehicle will stop. That was never planned. Vehicle will break down, driver did not come. Hundreds of factors come into life. So as soon as the driver doesn't come, now immediately you see how far you can see. Can I get another driver? Don't get agitated. We cannot control reality. What is next moment you cannot control. My own body, mind, I cannot control. When this body will fall apart, we do not know. When we die, we do not know. So live each moment depending upon Krishna. Guru and Krishna, the Lord is guiding from within the heart, that we have to practice. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय.